back.
Back. Hey.
Guess who's back? Zach and Charlie.
Hey.
I am excited. I don't even know what we're working on other than a webinar or workshop for you, but we're going to figure that out. I'm going to share my screen. We're going to get a little bit of inception going on here. Let me bring this over here. Boom, goes the dynamite. Let's see. Let's ask Chris, what did we work on in this session and what are we supposed to work on next? Let's see how this does. This was a 3-hour chat last time. I'm not sure if Crisp is good at those longer ones or not. Let's see. So documented core teaching, develop webinar offer. Next steps, extract key documents from the session, system documentation, core teaching documentation, bonus documentation, webinar offer documentation. All right, cool. Well, I know what that means. Do you know what all those things mean? They're all part
Nope, I'm trusting you.
Sounds good. All right, well, let's do it. So yeah, so what we discussed, let me see. Did I mention if I just need this session or if I need anything else to extract those documents? Previous session, teaching current detailed hook. To pair the core teaching documentation with the current detailed hook. Doing the core teaching, we need to pair it together with the current detailed hook so it knows what context to put it together with. You'll need both this session's transcript and the previous content about the hook. All right, perfect. That's what I thought. I thought I remembered something like that. So let me pull up Claude. Let's go into your project. Referrals while you sleep. Okay, so here's what we need to do. I don't think I have the Obsidian up right now. So we'll need to grab some documents. Throw them in here.
Nice.
All right, let's open up a new tab and come over here. I think it's under business projects. Is it under this? Nope. Maybe it's under this. There we go. There we go. And clients and Charlie Madison and referrals while you sleep. There we go. And I got webinar content. Detailed hook. Perfect. Okay, so we want this. So I'm going to reveal this file. And we're going to pull that in here. We're going to grab this transcript. Copy transcript. We're going to throw that into there. Then I'm going to have it. Is that one? No, it's this one. In Obsidian. Let's double check. Do you have access? It does. Perfect. I'm going to check something real quick. Did this get updated? Search, get, create. Big group. No, it didn't. Okay, no worries. That's not relevant to this. I was just curious while I was looking at it. Okay, review this file in Obsidian to understand our overarching process. We have a detailed hook that is bordering on being a core teaching already. Look for the core teaching templates to understand that process. Then extract out the core teaching. Yeah. And let's see. So I got that one. What else did? System, core teaching, bonus, webinar. Okay. We already got your who. let's do these. Let's see. Other documents in a different thread. All right, I'm gonna ask you this on for teaching, and I'm gonna do those others in a separate thread so that I can do them better. Have you
Sounds
guys,
good.
have you guys has your family watched the K-pop Demon Hunters yet?
We have not. Is it good?
It was worthwhile. It's my kids have really liked it. I don't know as much if your family will like it or not. It's very girl power heavy, and just having a bunch of sons, they may or may not align with it. But my sons liked it, so it it still might fit. But I'm asking because I hear the music to it over there. They've been watching it a lot and just keep.
Gotcha. That's fun.
But it was well done. Of the animated stuff that came out, it's from Sony Animation is who did it, which did the newest Spider-Man animated movies, which are really good. I don't know. Have you seen those?
I have. Yep.
Yeah, those were well done. Those were really well done. So anyway, it is well done. The storyline may or may not be something that your family would like, but it's worth checking out to see what you think.
Yeah, we'll check it out. Always looking for some new animated to see.
Indeed.
I've personally been going through the Christopher Nolan collection. Inception, not with the kids, but just myself.
Right.
Memento. Watched Tenet again this weekend.
Nice. I haven't seen Tenet. Is that one of the ones that you told me I should see?
No.
What
it's
was
good.
What was the one that you told me I should see?
You got the 13th floor.
Yeah,
probably.
I was remembering right. 13th floor.
Yeah.
Make sure it's fully fleshed out with context. Ideally, almost like a complete look at the teaching. Give enough context and details so that nothing is lost. Enough context and details that nothing is lost for the next person who reviews it to understand it. So I just want to make sure sometimes sometimes they go a little bit too high level. I want to make sure that this one is a fully fleshed out, well documented look at like what are we teaching.
Gotcha.
Key terms, common misconceptions. It's still going. It's still going.
Good. we did go grocery shopping this weekend,
Yeah.
and went into Claude, and I was like, "Hey, turn this into an app for me." And then I was like, "Make it 10x better and 10x more better." And uh, it was pretty amazing. It was fun to go through the grocery store with my own custom made checklist app.
That's funny. Yeah, I mean, isn't that interesting? I think we really will. We like there will become a time where it's like uh apps are less of a thing and it's more like an on-demand app being the norm. It's like I need something that
Right?
does this and works this way. All right, cool.
Yeah, like 3D printing for your own forks and shoes, and
Right. Right. That's awesome.
but it makes sense that information would be first, right? I mean, that's an
Right.
easier one to build.
Right. Right. It's gonna take it a bit to go through and do all of that, but the core methodology, this documentation is all about everything that we went through. Like, what is this model? What's this approach? What are we doing? It's designed to be the entire context around the teaching, so that this could be like this is the distilled, clear version of what we talked about.
Gotcha.
But I still want it to be really well fleshed out. So it's almost like the written version of what we talked about.
Oh,
So
nice.
that as we distill it into slides, it's not distilling from from the Cliff's Notes. It's distilling from like I don't know, less exhaustive than our conversation, but still covers the same concepts. It's idealized form.
That makes sense.
Perfect. Common mistakes: trying to make interviews too short, over rehearsing the interview, over explaining the entire system up front, getting gun shy after initial response.
Resistance.
Yup. Oh yeah, resistance. Thank you. Initial resistance.
Yeah,
That's
it's
good. No.
interesting. I was talking about this with Tyler,
Right.
and he had a good point. He put in there defining the process. He was like, "All right, determine the number of people on your list, begin your outreach, track it, track the
Right.
number of positive and negative responses, see how many interviews you like, track the number of interviews scheduled, the number of interviews done." So
Right.
I've like never talked about that before, but I mean, it makes sense with them tracking their numbers. Yeah, that's kind of a cool way to do it.
Yeah, I've tried that. Uh I find what's mattered more is instead of tracking it, which I'm never going to do,
Right.
trying to make sure that it's being done in a system where the tracking is default. Uh so like for me, I have to have my assistant do this, right? Where
Right.
we keep track of here's all the people we've reached out to, here's how we reached out to them, here's where they responded. uh did they like where did they move through through the funnel? Were they interested? Like that's the first positive, moving deeper in the funnel, right? Did we
Right.
actually get the interview booked? That's the next stage. What did the interview actually get held? That's the next stage. And then knowing that like there's always atrophy at every stage of that funnel, just different
Right.
variations, and you could improve different areas better. But like me sitting down and tracking it, it's not for me personally, it's not something I'm ever going to do. But it is useful. Like knowing that information is what made the difference. Where I was like, we ran an accidental split test of. I was just like, I want to reach out everywhere that we can in a fairly automatic way. So I did email and Facebook Messenger, and automatic. In this case, not automatic, but having a human do it without phone calls.
Right.
And yeah, I found that I was getting like for every 10 interviews I got booked, 9 out of the 10 came from Facebook Messenger.
Oh,
So like, so it wasn't even small differences. It was like pretty drastic difference. Anyway, but yeah, I mean, you're right. Having that information is really useful. This makes a difference on if people will actually track it. So like being able to make that
actually do
easy
it.
for them. Yeah, being able to make that easy for them. I mean, honestly, it's probably a worthwhile thing for you to look at or consider is like, is there a portion of setting up GHL for them in a way where it's like, hey, put your people in here, run the sequence, run the system, have an assistant or do this yourself and log what stage of the pipeline they are to track who you need to be having conversations with.
Yeah.
And then you'll naturally end up with that data.
Right. Yeah, he mentioned that too.
Right.
Well, that's pretty thorough.
That is pretty thorough. Subject area definition, common misconceptions, cold calling, problems with status quo, market context, target audience for context, stage, perfect, who this is not for, wrong stage, wrong mindset, different needs, core methodology and framework, main approach, interview method. Instead of asking realtors for something, their business, or offering them something genuinely valuable. Component 1, realtor selection and outreach methods. Finding and reaching quality realtors. Using professional lists like MMI that rank realtors. Okay. Is this right? MMI?
Yep.
Okay, perfect. Sourcing, look up top reviewed realtors in your area. 2, coolest realtor, sphere of influence, social media, invitation. Component 2, the 6-question interview framework. 6 core questions. How do you get into business? Experience, transfer, background, and skills. What did you do before you got into real estate? What did you learn from your past jobs? Do you have a client that just brings a smile to your face? Real estate's hard. Why do you still do it? At the end of the transaction, when it's done, what is something that you want somebody to say? What areas you serve? How could someone reach out to you?
Nice.
Are those the right 6 questions?
Yeah.
All right, perfect. Success indicators. When you know you're succeeding, eyes light up, passion, emergence, natural flow, emotional connection, story mode, surfboard concept, philosophy. You've got questions, and then you just follow where it goes. Like a surfboard, practical application, use 6 questions, launching points, but be ready to dive deeper when something interesting emerges. Follow-up principles, authenticity, interview opening and flow, techniques, drop into the middle. Quick direct opening, we're live. Thanks for being here. Okay. Psychology and positioning framework, expert positioning and authority building. Zero cost involvement. Why abundance-minded realtors embrace this.
I don't know that I'd call it zero cost as much as maybe like low cost.
Where do you see zero cost?
Number 4, go up just a little bit higher.
So zero cost involvement is for that first conversation.
This is for the realtor. Okay, gotcha.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
Yep.
Yeah. Okay, these are all the benefits for the real estate agent. Is that right?
Yeah, the idea of this first one is like how to make getting conversations with realtors easy.
Gotcha.
And so yeah, these are like, this is the value proposition around why doing that call is good for them. What does it do for them?
Gotcha. That makes sense.
No, they're not. They're full.
over rehearsing, over explaining, getting gun shy, wrong mindset, trying to do interviews in person, technical mistakes, quality setup. Okay, using generic AI content creation, presentation guidance, initial outreach. Authentic curiosity, outreach, time investment, ongoing. Okay. Scheduling. Advanced strategies, detailed objection handling, most common objections. Have come into your office. This is really good.
Covered a lot.
Yeah. All right. Let me grab this and let's do new note. I am hearing background noise, just so you know.
Gotcha. Let's see if I can get Chris working.
Yeah, I'm watching the entire time.
Can you still hear me?
Yeah, I still hear you. Can you hear me?
Yeah. Do you still hear the background noise?
Nope. I think it's gone.
Amazing. It's still there. You just can't hear it.
Mm-hmm. Indeed. Okay, so we got the core teaching. Now what I'm gonna do. Now what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna take this same stuff. I think I'm gonna simplify. I'm gonna simplify some of what I did here. I'm gonna grab. I want this. I want this. Review this file. I do want that. We have the core teaching already done. Want you to just focus on the bonus documentation for now, based on what's covered in the transcript and these provided templates. Here's the transcript, and let's pull up process, fusion, fellowship. There we go. I want to open that one and this one. Okay, perfect. I'm gonna grab these documents, pull them in there. I'm gonna have it do it this way so it uses less tokens in the process, where it doesn't have to do as much of this. A process file. Yeah, I'm gonna grab this one too, so it doesn't have to look it up. This is mainly a token optimization play. So that it has everything that it needs. It doesn't need to grab it. I could just context load it and get it to do what it needs to. You still hear me? Yeah, I'm not hearing you.
Yeah, I can hear you.
Okay, perfect.
The kids were loud. I was muted.
No worries. No worries. Okay, so let's see. Loan officer scorecard, a comprehensive assessment tool that helps loan officers evaluate where they stand across multiple business dimensions. Format, documented / assessment tool appears to be available in both basic and prettier versions. Scorecard covering areas like partner relationships, digital visibility, relationship quality, value definition, content creation, audience building. Alternative bonus mention, checklist similar to 90-day podcast launch checklist, tracker, tool to track realtors reached out to. So you already have the scorecard, right?
Yeah, I've got a scorecard. Yeah.
For the loan officers?
Yeah.
Why am I not hearing you? Are you talking?
Yep. Check. You can't hear me? You can't hear me?
Check. Okay, my audio thing is... Let's see. Did Chris just die on me? Oh, you're not in the right thing.
Can you hear me?
It switched on me. Can I hear you again?
1 2 1 2.
No. Chris died on me. All right. Let me fix that real quick and I'll be right back.
Oh, Crisp. You work great when you work. Let's see if I can sing a song. He's still here. Oh, what's he doing? Pushing buttons. I can still see you. Can you hear me? Check 1 2 1 2.
Quit this and come back.
Looks like 8 is the magic number. Check 1 2 1 2 1 2. Check 1 2 1 2 1 2. Da 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 da. Check 1 2 1 2 1 2. So many. Now I can't hear you. Let's see what happens.
There we go. I hear you again.
Hey, look at that. We did it.
I need to select the right microphone, though.
I do hear you.
It just wasn't going into crisp, so we wouldn't have gotten the transcript.
Nice.
All right. I am back. What were we doing? What happened before this?
Good question. Who knows?
Yeah. I was asking you about the bonus. Okay, so the bonus. Do you have that scorecard ready?
Yeah, I can. You want me to share it with you?
I don't specifically need it. But walk me through real quick. So knowing, I just want to get this in the transcript. Knowing that that this webinar is geared toward loan officers and it's about getting that first conversation. Walk me through how this scorecard is such a good fit for connecting back to that purpose, right? Like, how does it help them get there better, quicker, faster?
So the scorecard, it talks about, it takes them from the idea of, like working with anybody and everybody to working with, a select few of realtors really closely. It goes from, having 0 some months to having, 8+ loans a month consistently. It talks about, so it's kind of that vision of from where you are to where you want to be, working nights and weekends whenever, to having, Fridays off. And so that's part of it's just the vision, because what I realized is a lot of loan officers like can't even imagine.
Right. Do you have like, depending on your score or depending on whatever, do you have like outcomes or like where they should focus or anything like that? Does that make sense?
That does. I don't have that. I probably should.
So what I'm trying to think through is how we position the bonus in light of the webinar, right? So They're getting on this workshop in order to know how to have easy conversations with clients. So when we or with realtors. So when we give this when we give the scorecard, being able to say like, hey, here's where the scorecard's going to help you. It's like, we're covering a lot right here. It's going to let you know where to start, right? It's going to let you know where you are, where you should focus, how you're doing, and maybe what the next stage is, depending on where you are, right? You know what we could probably do? Let's develop this out. Send me the scorecard real quick.
Let's see, I'm trying to find it. It might take a minute.
I think I'm recording both system audio and whatchamacallit right now, and my mic. Hopefully I am, because I'm getting that so we can get a transcript for something. Once it's one downside of still doing this in StreamYard is I need a better option for getting a live transcription while we're working.
Yeah.
But
All right, I
perfect.
sent you in WhatsApp. Hey, I'll be right back.
All right, cool. Level 1, level 2. Okay, perfect.
All right, can you hear me?
Yep, I hear you. Okay, so walk me through somebody goes through the scorecard, and they're at, let me see, you're a loan processor competing with everyone on rates. Press 1 for rates mentality. Feel like a beggar constantly. So like, like do you have these different levels ingrained in you personally? Like meaning like you relate to these concepts, they exist in your system mentally?
So the lenders that I work with, like this is from them. So I've
Perfect.
kind of like asked them like, hey, like but we've gone over this and kind of refined it to where like this is they said this is their realities.
Okay. So in your own words, tell me about level 1 survival mode. What are they experiencing? What are the key pains there? I know some of it's covered here, but I personally want to get on the same page.
I mean, they're either brand new or they've been in the business and they're just a complete commodity. Um,
Okay.
they take anything that is given to them. Um, they may call, this says, they're cold calling realtors, just trying to get anything and everything. A lot of zeros, probably 30 grand a year.
When you say a lot of zeros, what do you mean? You mean months with zero deals?
Uh, yeah, months with zero deals. They'll work with anyone, everyone, uh, no systems. Like if they're up and coming, they're just hustling. Oh, we lost him. We lost him. Check, check, check. 1, 2.
I'm not sure what happened there. Can you hear me?
Hey, yeah, I got you.
It
You
just
got
said
me.
something went wrong. Um okay, let me
Um,
was I sharing my screen before or no?
I don't think so.
Okay, yeah. Well, I don't specifically need to be. Okay, so tell me more.
Yeah. So if they're new, they're just hustling, doing anything they can, but no systems, no sphere of influence, no, like there's no follow up. They're just hunting every day, just like I had a friend, he became a lender, and his manager said, call everyone call all the realtors and tell them you want to meet for coffee, and yeah, you want to work their deals, and like there's uh, like they are a commodity of commodities.
Okay. How does somebody move from level 1 to level 2?
They've got a basic sphere of influence.
Okay.
They've got a group of people that kind of know, like, and trust them. They're willing to help more than just transactional.
Okay.
They're building general relationships with people. They may have, some realtors that they work with consistently. They're trying to do stuff with, they're trying to add value. Um, they pretty common have boomerang realtors, is what I call them. Like you work with them for a while and then you don't hear from them for a long time.
So
And
so so let me get more clear in what I'm asking. You're describing to me who is in level 2. What I want you to answer is I am currently level 1. What actions do I take to move to level 2?
you put people in a sphere of influence. You start uh, using content marketing to be in front of them.
Okay.
You're not just you're visible to people that know you. You get them to start beginning to trust you through content, through taking more of an advisor role. Um, you have more relationships with real estate agents. You're a little bit more picky. You've got 2 to 4 units a month. Um,
So how do I get more relationships with real estate agents?
um, I mean, you should lead with value, right? And so you're probably doing some kind of education, or you're still probably doing the lunches and coffees, and you're trying to um, do whatever you can to create value.
So moving from level 1 to level 2 when it comes to the real estate agents, if we're looking at it in the general scheme, is largely about am I actively building and developing relationships with realtors, right?
Yeah, it's more. Yes.
If I'm doing that the slow way, I'm doing lunches and coffees and dropping donuts, right? That will build relationships. It's just going to be really slow for whether or not it actually results in anything, and more a matter of luck over time rather than really actively developing that. So if I want to go from level 1 to level 2 as quickly as possible, I need to be able to provide real value in a way that gets me contact with a lot of realtors, but in a way that they actually want to receive, right? So going from level 1 to level 2 and deploying the referrals while you sleep content strategy is the quickest way to go there. Does that sound right?
Yeah, and another thing is like you're marketing, you're building out your sphere of influence so people come to you directly.
Okay.
Because as you imagine, if you know that you're going to get so many deals a year from your sphere of influence, it kind of gives you the confidence to be a little bit more picky when you work with realtors.
Perfect. Okay, so there's two underlying problems then that are happening at level 1. At level 1, we aren't doing enough marketing to our own list to have our own demand to be able to supply, right?
Right.
So we're fixing that. I'm going to ask another question in a second. So that's happening at level 1. The other thing that's happening at level 1 is that we either aren't building relationships with realtors or aren't building relationships with realtors effectively, right? And so we need to be doing that so that we are growing our partnership list as well, right? Does that sound right?
Yeah.
Or would you define that as level? Yeah. Okay. Let's keep it there. Okay. Perfect. So kind of the principle, the fundamentals are doing good marketing to your warm list, your sphere, your database. That's one. And building up your perception as a trusted advisor, consultant, that authority in the space. And then 2 is building and developing partnerships with referral partners like realtors, and having a good system for that. So your system seeks to solve both of those problems really effectively, right? So you want to be doing something in that vein. So like the way that you could say this is you want to be marketing well to your sphere, and you want to be developing partnerships. The referrals while you sleep system is a great way to do those faster than other things, or more effectively than other things, right?
Yeah.
Okay, perfect. What if if I'm in level 1, do I does everybody have enough of a warm list?
Ask that in another way.
I'm a loan officer coming into your world. I'm thinking, I'm on this journey of wanting to grow my business. Are there cases where the loan officer doesn't have enough of a warm list for referrals while you sleep to be a good fit?
Not for a loan officer, because I think the other part of this, as you move up the ladder, is you're providing value in ways beyond the transaction. Like it's more of a transformational relationship, and so you're using reciprocity. So for a loan officer, like, you really don't have to know anybody. You can lead with reciprocity from the get-go.
Okay, so then the partnership portion is really the primary focus, because are those the people that start to become on your warm list?
Sorry, I'm not understanding.
So I know how referrals while you sleep works, right? So I'm thinking through what you're prescribing to people, right? I'm trying to envision if we're not assuming. So look at it this way. You have explored the universe and found the depths of truth underlying things. And so you've built referrals while you sleep around the truth that you've discovered. Okay.
Right.
So something like this scorecard, I'm mentally thinking about it from the standpoint of here's the truth that I've discovered that everybody could relate to. And obviously, referrals while you sleep is such a good fit to help you go from level 1 to level 4. And here's the stage of this process and where and what you should focus on depending on where you are. So the earliest stages in this, I'm a brand new loan officer. I just say like imagine me, okay? I literally just got started, right? Like I don't is like I just got licensed. I don't know what's the process for becoming a loan officer. I'm not sure what that looks like. I just got started. I don't know anything. If I found you on day one, what are the things that I do today to start my business off right? Does that make sense?
Yeah. So the two insights, the two things that you need to do is one, become the trusted authority and top of mind to your sphere of influence.
Okay. Who's in my sphere of influence?
Everyone that you know that passes the grocery store test.
Okay. So I need to know people then.
Yes.
Okay. How often have you ever come across a loan officer that doesn't know enough people for this to be worthwhile? Does that make sense? Somebody.
No, because like it's the two parts. It's like realtor partners and sphere of influence. Like if you don't have a sphere of influence, like you can meet, like you're going to meet people.
Right.
The only time it wouldn't work is if you don't know anybody that trusts you and you don't want to meet anybody and you don't want to pursue realtors. Yeah. Does that make sense?
I think so. I think
like with real estate agents, there's this thing where like it's really all farming for real estate agents. So you got to know a certain amount of people.
right.
Whereas with lenders, there is this thing of hunting in a way. Like
Right.
long as there's real estate agents that you can pursue as a realtor partner, this works for you.
Okay. So you don't have to have a warm list. So that's kind of what I'm getting to is I think the primary driver is the here's how you go on the hunt. The marketing to your warm list for the loan officer is more here's how you make sure that that's maximized. Does that make sense?
Yeah. And I mean, part of the insight is when you've got business from your sphere of influence and you're not 100% dependent on realtors, it gives you the like internal confidence and the ability to like be more picky. Like it gives you this internal positioning because like I don't even know how to explain that, but part of it is just knowing that you can get new partners whenever you want.
Right.
Like there's just something about the way you show up that helps you get better partners and like live the life that you want.
That sounds to me then maybe more like that's happening at level 2, like when you're in level 2 rather than at level 1.
Yeah.
So in terms of sequence, I start by forging partnerships, making sure I'm marketing to whoever is in my warm list right now, even if it's nobody, right? Like even if I don't know anybody, I'm just getting started in this world. In the worst case scenario, right? You start adding people to your warm list by going out and making these partnership connections, right? That's worst case scenario. Most people will know somebody, so it's only better from there, right? Even in the scenario where you don't know anybody, you're going out, you're making these connections, and you're starting to market to that warm list. You're starting to market to the people that you're doing deals with, that you're connecting with, that you're seeing in the world, that sort of idea. It's and it is worthwhile to go out and meet people and to have other activities that you're doing and get people added into your warm list. Like that's so in level 1, it's still worthwhile to be doing those activities too, to be meeting people, to connect with people, get to know more people, whether it's partners or even just in the world, right?
Yes, it's worthwhile to do that. I
Okay.
mean, I would think like level 1 though, like they're beginners. Like they're reaching out to people, but they got no systems, no follow up, no sales process. Like level 1, like it's a terrible place to be.
Yeah. So here's the point though. So what you're describing here on level 1 to level 4, you want to, like, if you're going to call out and say, hey, here's the different levels, based on this assessment, here's where you are, here's where you should focus next, right? Like you should be doing this. This is the most important thing for you to be focusing on right now. If
Right.
And I don't know, maybe like, I don't know how to describe this. Part of what I'm getting at here is like, there's a certain authenticity that comes through when the answer is based on your results, this is what you should do. Right? Does that make sense? And when you don't have that, when it's like based on your results, everybody should do the same thing. Well, it's like, why did I even go through this? Right? Like, why did I go through this scorecard? Like, if it's going to be the same regardless, like I don't need a scorecard. You're just telling me this is what I should be doing, right?
Right.
And so like this sort of level assessment, there's sort of a subconscious, I think, expectation of like, okay, I'm a beginner, so what do I focus on as a beginner? It's like I'm making my early relationships, or I'm establishing like maybe I'm trying to determine so like as for instance, I know part of what your system lets people do is the realtor filter, right? Like you are working with enough people to start to get choosy at who gets your time. So maybe in these early stages, part of what they're doing is they have a rough idea of who they like to work with. They start working with enough people, and what their goal in this process is to get clear on who they work with best, who they get the best results with, who they can really serve at a high level, right? And so what they should be focusing on is getting clear on that. Like, does that make sense? I'm making this up, but like,
Yeah.
But do you get what I mean in terms of like how you can give somebody that perception of logically progressing?
Yeah. Yeah, that makes sense. So part of it is, I haven't worked with these people.
Right.
Like that's, looking at it, here's the truth. Like I would just tell them, like, you probably need to find a good mentor, like by referral only or ninja selling,
Right.
or, Carl White. Like you need to find someone that like coaches loan officers to get to 100K. Like I'm not a loan officer. If you don't know how to deliver the goods, I don't know how you get here.
Right. Yeah. So, and that's, so just starting out then, what are the things that they need to have established to be maybe at level 2? So they need to be a professional, right? They need to have done enough deals. They need to have started their process of working with people, right? So like at what stage does somebody enter being who you work with, and how and where your information starts to help them? Does that make sense?
Yeah, they believe in sphere of influence. They want relationships. They want to work with real estate agents. When they get a client, they can create a great experience and close the client. When they when they work with a realtor, afterwards, the realtor's like, man, this was an amazing experience. I want to send you more people.
Right.
Like so that like those are the things that are needed.
Perfect. So then moving from level 1 into level 2 may not actually be referrals while you sleep yet. Like it would be good and helpful, but like the primary focus is you need to become a master of your craft. You need to do enough deals, learn the process of how you actually connect with people in this way. And so you might recommend for people like that, hey, I recommend that you read Ninja Selling. I recommend that you check out these coaching organizations. I recommend like get familiar with this world. If you're here just starting out and feeling these ways, this is the prescription. The prescription is knowing that like you'll grow your business this way. Does that make sense?
Right. Mm-hmm.
And so then you get to level, and again, I might be off in terms of the specifics here, but see if this framework makes sense to you for how we could like give people the prescription. Because the other thing that you could do with this too in terms of scorecard, see if your assessments come out right, where you're like, you almost want the scorecard to tell people, I'm not a fit to reach out to Charlie yet.
Right.
But I do know what I need to do in order to become a fit.
Right.
Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Or like, and similarly, like you might knowing this overall process of what you're like what you're building out, what you need people to believe. You might start putting together mini versions or mini courses around that too, like the stuff that's like, that they not only believe in the power of reciprocity and marketing to their sphere, but like you might have information that you're either teaching them or directing them where to go to learn it. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
It's not where you'd start. At least I don't think so. But like as you develop out to be able to have more of the funnel be something that you control, it could be. It could be that you're marketing to those early stages, and then as people graduate, you're like, okay, you're ready for this stage. It may not be, referrals while you sleep may not be the offer that's put in front of them at the early stages. But
right.
Anyway, okay.
Yeah, that could almost be part of the thing about this is like this was not built to serve that person.
Right.
Like, there's a lot of coaching companies that are built to help someone get from 0 to 100K. And then, like you just grind. This whole system was built backwards for you're already successful and you want to grow without sacrificing your health and wealth and relationships.
Right.
Like this is, this isn't a grind more system. Right. And so, yeah, like if you're at that stage, this doesn't fit for you. Like you need to be around someone that probably, hold you accountable to grind.
Right. Yeah. And so would you say, and maybe the levels aren't set up to describe this in this way. Because if you're asking your current people, there might be a level 0 that's missing here that I'm not, or I don't know, or maybe they are speaking to like where they were before they figured out getting into the relationship zone. I'm not sure.
Yeah, I mean, I think that's level 1 is like you're working all the time. You got no idea what you're doing. You're a complete commodity. If you get 1 or 2 deals, that's amazing. But like you're just doing anything and everything with like no plan. So like, I mean, that's level 0. We're calling it level 1. But
so level 0 would be before that. Level 0 is like you're just starting out. You don't know what to do. Where do you get started? How do you develop? Right, like that sort of idea. Level, and just in terms of what we've been talking about. Level 1 is you've gotten in, you're hustling, you're grinding, you're like, you don't know what you're doing, you're figuring it out. You don't know what you're doing in terms of getting the result that you really want. You're probably getting results, you're getting some numbers. It's not like you're a complete noob. You know how to do a deal, you know how to service people. Maybe you're lacking for time to be able to focus on serving people at a high level, right? Like, but not for lack of knowledge, if that makes sense. Does that sound right? Am I understanding that one right?
Be like, a lot of times it's like the lender that'll be sitting in the real estate office, and they just get people to come to them, and they send the email, hey, I'm working this weekend. Like they're making like 3 to 5 grand a month. They've got some 0 months. Like they the they're not doing much. Maybe they're trying a lot, but they're just they don't have the solution yet.
Okay. And so the problems that they're dealing with in that zone, they're commoditized, they're not feeling valuable, they're not making much as a result. They might still be working a ton, but they're not capitalizing on the value for their time. That sort of idea, right?
Yeah.
Okay. And so that person moves from there to level 2 by starting to do their own marketing, by starting to develop their own partnerships where they are seen as somebody with their own inherent value, not just a commodity in the loan space, right?
Right. Yeah.
Okay.
Sphere of influence. They're, people will come to them. They've got some realtor relationships. They've got, some kind of system of not being invisible between transactions, like some kind of continuous visibility.
Okay, perfect. So I mean, think this may or may not show up in this. This might, yeah, I don't know. Anyway, this may or may not show up in this, but at least for me, thinking through it and understanding it. So like level 0 is I'm just getting started. I don't know what I'm doing at all. And so what I need to do is I need to figure out the business, right? I need to learn some sort of strategy, some sort of something to create opportunities to find something. The 0 to 100, like you said, right? That is really where the that is really where the go find a mentor, go find methods, go find sources of business, get opportunities to just be able to do transactions, right? And once you're at that point and you've done enough that you have like some level of, you've been doing business, some people, you've done something, now you're somewhere in survival mode, right? Of like, you're probably overly busy compared to what you're getting paid, right? And so in this zone, now we're like, okay, how do we correct this? Where we correct just busy into actually being effective in toward your end goals. And that's where we're doing sphere of influence marketing and developing those partnerships so that we're not a commodity anymore. Okay. Now we're starting to develop those out. Tell me, how do we define level 2? How do I know that I've successfully moved out of level 1 and into level 2 through this process of marketing to my sphere and developing these partnerships?
You're doing, 2 to 4 deals a month. You've got an occasional 0. You've got some follow-up. You've got some, realtor relationships. You've got some like kind of systems, like when you do a deal, you've got some follow-up. When you get in touch with a realtor, like you can close more of them and do a deal and a second deal with them. Probably still working a lot. Probably still, um, up and down, kind of fearful, it still kind of feels month to month. Because 2 to 4 deals, you're making 6 to 12 grand a month, most likely. So you've got some kind of consistent visibility. It might be sporadic,
so
but it's uh, your head's above water, but just barely.
So would it be fair to say that, like, moving from level 1 to level 2, we've implemented some of our own marketing, so we are seeing occasional deals come from our sphere, right? Like they may not be a ton, but it's like there are officially times where it's like we could source a deal from our own list, from our own people.
Yeah.
It may not be much at all, but it's just like we know that it's doing something, right?
Yeah.
Same thing. We have one, maybe two realtor partners that we've been able to develop, that we have a relationship that's fairly consistent relationship, that there's opportunities coming from it, right? Like that. So we're at that state. And then the end result is that we, the hours that we're working, the number of deals that we're doing, it's better than it was before, but we're still not in a great place for where we want to be business wise. Does that sound right?
Yeah.
Okay. And so then how do we get to level 3? So we've got 1 to 2 realtor partners right now. We have some zeros. We're doing 2 to 4 deals some months, sourcing some of our deals from our list. How do we get to level 3?
Level 3 is where a lot of my clients are.
Right.
Especially right now in this market, because
Right.
level 4 is kind of like eight plus deals, and that's very rare right now, especially with a life. So level 3, like you've got consistent, you probably have like 5 really good realtor relationships. You might have like 40 kind of like, where you get 1 or 2 deals a year or every other year from someone,
How do you
rarely any zeros.
how do you move from 1 to 2 realtor partners to the 4 to 5?
Uh, you're trying to lead with a giving hand, like you're thinking, how can I add value? You probably tried all the different things. You're trying education and lunch and coffee, and you've just done it long enough, and then you've got enough of a consistent, like you got some kind of follow-up system where you're at least top of mind with a lot of people over and
Does
over,
it
and
is
it could just be longevity.
is it fair to say that getting to the 4 to 5 using the old methods takes decades, because of how much it takes doing donuts and lunch and building relationships that way, how long the relationship building process takes that way, compared to if you want to get to level 3 quickly, using referrals while you sleep, and this process of building relationships this way, those can be forged, I don't know, maybe a year or two.
So no, I wouldn't say it takes decades to get that 4 or 5, because I mean, it could be, when you're up and coming, you've got a handful of realtors that, 1 or 2 end up doing well as well,
Right.
so like, I mean, you can hustle to get those. Uh, but I mean, like it can be done much faster when you've got content leverage,
Right.
and when you've got like something where you can really, I mean, like if you cold call 100 realtors a week for the next 2 or 3 years, like it works, right?
Right.
Like, if you spend 20 to 30 hours a week prospecting and running events, and, you hire a caller to call them, and like if you do all that, you're working 68 hours a week, like that works. You're going to be exhausted, but you're going to have business. Um, and so you can work like that, or I mean, it takes time. I wouldn't say it takes decades, but it takes probably 4 or 5 years,
What's the what's
going a little
the
bit slow.
what's the comparison then? Is it hours invested in the process?
Yeah. Hours per week and just hours in relationships, right? Like, I mean, at the end of the day, it's, um, you know, how many r- relationships with realtors that can actually give you referrals, like how much time, um, referrals that you close. Because that's one of the problems with the old way, is you're going after all these people that maybe they don't care about changing right now. Maybe they, you don't drive with their clients. Like there's just a lot of wasted space, like with people that aren't good partners for you.
Right. So like a KPI that's potentially useful then is maybe the hours per relationship, and also the hours per closings or per closing, right?
Yeah.
So when you compare the lunch and learns and coffee and donuts and lunches and that and sitting in open houses, when you compare the hours to both relationships and closings, the hours on that, this might be worth doing math for at some point, by the way, of sitting down and thinking through what would you estimate, like if I'm doing 60 hours a week, how many deals are people actually sourcing from this? Like it's not zero, but
Right.
it's a lot of hours compared to the deals, versus when you're running referrals while you sleep as a method, the hours per relationship goes down drastically, right?
Right.
Because if I'm going to get in relationship with somebody using the donuts and all of that, I've got to waste a lot of hours sorting through the people where there's some serendipitous thing that creates the opportunity for an actual relationship, right? The 60 hours a week dialing and to find the one that I might actually connect with, that is willing to spend the time with me, just because there are aspects of it that are out of your control, right? Like,
Right.
Anyway, okay, so that makes sense. So the key difference between moving from level 2 to level 3 is really the number of people that you're in relationship with, right?
In level 3, you've got systems that work consistently without you.
Okay.
So you might have an assistant, you might have like some automated stuff that's effective,
Like what? Automated stuff that's effective. What do you mean?
I mean, like referrals while you sleep, where you've
Okay.
got like you've got like a print newsletter that's sent out that doesn't take a lot of time, or it's like leveraged. A lot of people at this point, they've got some kind of assistance, whether it's a loan officer assistant or um, someone where like stuff can happen consistently without you doing it all.
Right. That makes sense. And how many partners are we looking at level 3?
A lot of times you're like at like 5 to 10, you probably still have like 40 um, that you could talk to. You probably know, I mean, at this time, you probably know or are known by 100 plus realtors, because by this time you've
Right.
met a lot of people.
On your scorecard, by the way, something that might be
Yeah.
useful for clarity on the realtor relationships, the time freedom and lifestyle is really good in that it shows the numbers progressively going down. I think on the realtor relationships, it would be good to have numbers going up that refer to the thing that we want. So like under the realtor relationships, there's 0 reliable realtor relationships. Under level 2, 1 to 2 reliable realtor relationships. Under level 3, you mentioned what, 5 to 10?
Right.
Does that make sense?
Yeah, that makes sense.
And you might also quantify like, total number of realtors that know you. So like you could see like this is a subset of this. That might be useful in there just for clarity. Like say the same stuff, but that way the metrics sort of people can see the logical flow.
I like that.
Okay, so what I hear you saying about how you go from level 2 to level 3 is automation and help. So you have better leverage to get there. It's most often not going to be forged off the back of the grind. It's going to be forged off of getting more intelligent with how you're doing this process, right?
Yeah.
Is that the key differentiator? So if I'm at level 2 and I'm like, how do I get to level 3? I was like, all right, well, here's what you got to focus on. You got to focus on these aspects that are working, but you got to do them more efficiently, right?
Yeah.
Does that sound right?
Yeah.
Okay. And then so I'm at level 3 then, and I've got my 5 to 10 powerful realtor partners. What are the problems that are still present at level 3?
What are, like,
Or another way to look at it is what are the bigger dreams that I'm shooting toward that I still haven't reached, that I have to unlock a new plane of belief, or a new level of skill or whatever, in order to get to that next level? Like what are the next things that I want to achieve that I haven't achieved yet, and what do I need to change to get there?
they I'm thinking about Mark and Jerry and Paul, that, and I don't have many people that are at the level 4.
Right.
Mark is kind of like halfway there, so like he's able to take Fridays off, and like he has made the decision to make less money than work more. Like he's okay with that.
Right.
I think, and part of that, I mean, I don't know if this is a cop out. I don't think it is. I mean, part of it really is market based.
Right.
Like, I mean, like in a good market, you're gonna have a lot more people doing eight units or more a month. During the refi boom, you were having people doing 20 a month. Right now, if you're doing 8 a month, like you're top percent.
Right.
And I think the main thing is like you've got a reproducible system that's just not just completely dependent on you. With this system, you've got, like, you're the obvious choice to enough people that you can do 100 deals a year.
How is that different in terms of what they've been doing to be at level 3?
It's mainly like that they've got this locked in, and they're doing this with more realtors. They can replace realtors whenever they need. Like there's just this, like, they can really say, all right, this is how much money I want. This is how much I'm willing to work, and like that they can really decide decide what they want.
So level 4 then might be more specifically like tell me if any of this aligns with you and makes sense for this. But level 3 is where it is the level of success where it's like they've built all the systems, they understand all the stuff, but getting to level 4 is really when they've gotten clarity on what they want. And
Yeah.
and so whether that's an increase in business, whether that's or whether that's more of the refinement of who they're working with, that level 4 is really like they know they could achieve whatever they want to, and they're just defining, this is the hours that I want to work, this is the kind of people that I want to work with. I know whether the hours matter more to me than the revenue. I know what it would take to get to the revenue, and like where it's just like, it's like I'm imagining almost like this Zen state of like they just get to create whatever they want to create. They have complete confidence that they can. And what success looks like for one person will look different for another person. But it's but like they have that confidence to execute what they want to in a way that feels in alignment with themselves.
Yeah.
Does that sound right? At least for what you're saying, for what you see with Mark?
Yeah, I think so. And so like the thing is, like, Mark considers himself at a level 3, most loan officers couldn't believe he actually lives the way that he does.
Right.
You know, like, I mean, his level 3 is probably most people's level 5. You know, if
Right.
we're really talking. Same with Jerry. You know, so the fact that I'm asking them what's next, you know, this is their vision of the magic wand scenario. And this is what they're looking to attain to. Um,
That makes
and
sense.
I mean, he's already got an amazing life. Like he takes off Fridays unless he gets bored and doesn't want to, right? Uh, and uh, so yeah, I think that's fair though. Like getting what you want, knowing what you want. It's you know, really, yeah, I think that's fair, kind of, because that's what he wants. Legacy, you know, decide what he want to do, picks his market. Um, it's I mean, it's really like, you know, health without or wealth without sacrificing health and relationships and joy and happiness, you know.
Right. So what is the work that somebody does at level 3 to get to that point where they have that clarity, they have that they know what to do? What does that look like? Is it mostly introspection? Is it walk me through it. If that's the idea of reaching that state where it's like, you know what you want to achieve, you know what you want to do, and it's just happening. What does somebody who is at level 3 need to do to get there?
You're masterful at marketing to your sphere of influence. You're masterful at developing realtor relationships. You know how to do it. You've got 1 or 2 really great people on your team that can handle, you know, 60 to 90% of the loans so
Okay,
that you
so
can.
if you don't have that, then you've got to develop that person, right? Where you're finding
Mhm.
somebody on your team who can do the loans. Okay.
Yeah. Yeah. So like Mark, he's got um, a really experienced, like 15-year loan officer that doesn't want to be a rainmaker. She just loves doing deals. She does 50% of the work. And then he's got a processor that does like another 40%. So like, I mean, he's literally doing 10%,
Right.
which means he can, you know, as he says, he works 2 hours a day that feels like work, and the rest he's, you know, dreaming up scenarios and ideas and plans, coaching his kids' ball game. You know, he finished his book, handwritten, not with AI, you know, as he
Wow.
says. Well, not really handwritten, but like, you know, human typed, not
Right.
no AI. And um, like there's just this confidence knowing like I can get more business whenever I need. You know,
Right.
like I don't have to take any bad business. I've got a system that I can turn up the knob whenever I need, um, without sacrificing. Right.
Yeah. So I mean, so a lot of that is really, so there's refinement on there's refinement around being able to step away from a lot of the day-to-day work, like being able to do that. So that requires team and systems.
Yeah.
uh there's knowing the system so well that you know what it takes to get the results that you want. And then the other thing is to know what you want enough to know if you're on track or off track from where you're wanting to be, right? And so there's
Right.
like getting clear on that. So um okay, so tell me if this feels right, because the idea to me would be like, if somebody here's why I'm asking all of this. If we're going to present this scorecard as the bonus for the webinar, what I want to be able to do is I want to be able to say, hey, you got here to learn how to make easy conversations. Here's how this scorecard is going to help you. It's going to help you by showing where you should be focusing next. Maybe making these conversations isn't where you should be focusing, or maybe the types of conversations that you're making, you know, depending on where you are on your scorecard, will be influenced by this, right? Okay, so like
Right.
that's kind of that's my thinking. It's like I want the context. That's why we dove into all of this. I want the context for how this bonus fits in very naturally to the webinar. Does that make sense?
Gotcha.
Um, okay, so let me see if I understand the scorecard. So the scorecard, uh, this may or may not show up in it, but conceptually, level 0 to level 1. Key thing is level 0, I'm just starting out, right? Like I'm early on. I don't know how to do the business. I don't know how to do anything. Really what I should do, I should seek out mentorship, maybe dive into learning things, start trying things, start getting into this world of being a loan officer, getting some deals under my belt, hustling and getting into action to start to kick up some dust and create some results, right? Like that's what I should do. Some great places to start. Looking at things like ninja selling, looking at things like buy referral only, looking at that world. Does that sound right?
Yeah.
Okay. And then I reach level 1 by getting to the point where like I know how to be busy. I know how to be actively working, doing deals. I've got some deals happening. I've got some traction. I'm working a lot more than I want to be compared to the deals that I'm doing. I probably don't have a lot of consistent, reliable partnerships, right? If any, probably 0. And so I know enough about how to do the business, but I'm not running it in an efficient way. I'm overworked compared to the effort that I'm putting in. Does that sound right?
Right. Yeah.
Or I'm overworked compared to the results I'm getting rather than the effort. Okay. So now to move to the next stage, now I need to get intentional about like actually carving out a portion of this world to be mine, right? To where I'm seen as an authority. And I do that by starting to actually market to my sphere of influence, right? Like that's a big part of this, where I'm creating opportunities from these people that I'm connecting with, and I'm working through my life regardless. If I'm doing deals, then like there's going to be people, and then I'm also developing out partnerships, right? Like I'm doing things to develop out these realtor partnerships, to build relationships and start finding people who can be real referral partners in this world, right? One of the best ways to do that quickly is to use referrals while you sleep as a way to do the duo videos with realtor partners and forging those relationships. But regardless, the key outcome is that you want those relationships. You want those, and your goal is to get to the at least 1 to 2 of those partnerships and to start seeing some level of deals coming from your SOI. Does that sound right?
Yeah. And I mean, and what, I think the thing though, like most people here, they're going very wide.
Right.
So because part of the scorecard, it shows that really you're going more narrow and deeper.
Okay.
That's not like with level 1, level 1, you're talking to anybody and everybody. Level 2, like you've got to you've got a little bit more boundaries on who you work with, and how you work with them.
That makes sense. And in what ways? Like, what are some of the ways that people are defining those boundaries?
They like have a system to talk to a realtor and kind of pre-qualify them with how much energy they're going to put for them, even if it's just subconsciously. If they see someone that's a goofball, they're probably like, all right, like I'm not. If they send me a deal, cool, but I'm not going to pursue them. And they're probably better at pre-qualifying people, not wasting a ton of people on time on even clients that aren't going, like they've got uh yeah and yeah they've probably been around enough that they kind of have an idea of who's going to be a good realtor and who's not,
Right.
And are more still pretty loose but more strict with their time.
Okay. So they're at least moving past the I'll work with anybody that could fog a mirror, and they're starting to say I have some inclination around who I think is most likely to be successful.
Yeah.
Both in terms of clients and realtor partners potentially.
Right.
Okay. And so I'm also working, I'm hopefully starting to do marketing to my list, sourcing some opportunities from there, and I know that I've reached level 2 when I've actually got like at least 1 or 2 realtor partners that are people that I work with pretty consistently, that And I'm sourcing business from them. They send me business, that sort of thing.
Yeah.
Okay, perfect. And then to get to level 3, now like I've really got to get to the point where I'm getting things more consistent, more systematic. I'm building out more systems. I'm refining the process a bit more. I'm probably getting a bit more narrow around who I'm working with, right? Like I've developing that better understanding. And really one of the things that I'm doing is I'm getting a lot better at developing relationships with the right realtor partners, right? So I'm getting to the point where I've got 5 to 10 realtor partners that I work with consistently, that I've got relationship with, that I'm sourcing deals from. And am I also increasing the number of deals that I'm sourcing from my sphere, or is that like as a percentage thing similar?
Yeah. I mean, you'll be both.
Okay.
Yeah, like I mean, because they go hand in hand. Like level 3 is success.
Right.
Like you're successful at level 3. You know, you're making 10 to 20 grand a month, and um, you've got you're. I haven't met many people here that are actually doing loans themselves and are working with strangers. Leads. Those types of things. So they've got relationships that are delivering business. They're probably always looking for more ways to develop relationships.
Right.
I mean, these are my sweet spot. Like they've got everything in place. They just need a better leveraged way. Like these people love me and never leave me. This is really my sweet spot.
That makes sense. And so to go from level 2 to level 3, I'm refining my systems. I'm polishing out the rough edges. I'm really learning how to excite and delight clients and partners in the process. Like I'm learning those things that make a difference. I'm learning who the right fits are for me in terms of clients, who the right fits are for me in terms of realtor partners. There's a lot of refinement here. The work is in looking where are the bottlenecks, where are the rough edges, where are the hard spots, and how do I refine them further, right?
Right.
There's also still like the other practical work in this is probably still a lot of conversations with people, a lot of testing relationships to see who you align and who you jive well with, and like thinking about that, right? Like thinking about who do I enjoy spending my time with? Who am I working with? And doubling down on that knowledge, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, and they usually have enough relationships that they just have real boomerang realtors come in and out, right? Like they'll send them a couple deals, they'll move out. They'll send them a couple deals, move out. They're probably in some kind of coaching here. They probably hit 10 deals a month a few times. Maybe it's not sustainable because it was like this real, a ton of work with, a lot of uh, uh, low quality, leads or clients along with referrals.
Right.
This is the part where, I think one of the reasons my clients are in this range, when they hear leads or liabilities, what you want as compliant clients are like, that explains why I'm exhausted when I try to grow. Like, how can I grow without sacrificing my life? Because all the other ways are, you're working 60 hours a week trying to pursue partnerships, or 60 hours a week working with leads. Like, how can I expand with, I mean, they don't know this, but with positioning.
So interesting. So some of the people in level 3 haven't been like, are they marketing to their sphere necessarily?
Yeah. I don't know of any that aren't.
Okay. So really like the big thing, so that's interesting. So really part of what you're helping people do then is move from 3 to 4, where they can grow on their terms. They could grow without being exhausted. They can define the things that they want. and really have the business of their dreams instead of maybe the income of their dreams, but the workload of their nightmares.
Right.
So that makes sense. So you're helping them to refine this process where it's like, how can you have your cake and eat it too? Where you get to have the results with a workload. That makes sense. So but having the partnerships is going to be there. They're going to have the partnerships. If they haven't refined exactly who they're working with, and they might be working
Yeah,
well,
I think one of the hardest parts about this is like they'll have a realtor partner and maybe they'll work together for 6 months, maybe 2 or 3 years, and then just vanish, or like a deal will go sideways, or you just don't hear from them for a while. It's kind of weird. Like, how do you, like, that's really common. Um, and so you just, you kind of cycle through and be like, yeah, we used to do a lot of business together, but we hadn't in the last couple of years. I don't know why. You're still looking for new realtor partners, but you don't have a system that's like consistent without just a ton of hours, right?
I
Because I mean, like it's a relationship game. How do you, um, and so like it feels like the ceiling of complexity. They're just like bumping up and like, how do I grow without sacrificing my health and dignity? Like, how can I grow with positioning? We're not allowed to give gifts. So many people want leads, but leads aren't helping anybody.
right.
So that's usually where they are.
Yeah, that makes sense. And so then to break through into the next level, they need a few things. So, by the way, at level 3, they're also they will typically have the help at that point, right? Like they're going to start being at the point where they've
Yeah.
got So really the key thing that's holding it back that I'm hearing from you then is like having that clarity of how do you have a system that that you could confidently bring in as many realtor partners as you can handle, right? Like that
Right.
and so knowing that and so really getting to that level 4 is having clarity on that where you're just confident, man, if somebody boomerangs out, I know I've got 3, 4, 5 people lined up right after them. And I
Right.
also know that I've got a system that'll bring that boomerang person back. Right.
Right.
So you simultaneously, you're not worried about the person boomeranging away, not because it won't happen, but because it's the nature of it sometimes. You already have lined up an easy access to who you could fill that spot on your bench, uh, or pull from the bench to fill that spot on your team. You've already got that bench pretty deep, ready to go. But also, that you've got a system that's going to bring that person back,
Right.
right, with how that's working, right?
Yeah. Yeah. And you may just have the ability to, have less boomerang,
Right.
like part of level 4 is, you don't lie awake at night and be like, I wonder if some other LO is going to be hungrier and still.
Right. Right. Yeah. You forged more of your relationships that are built on loyalty rather than purely transaction, right? Like
Yeah.
there's much more of an equal exchange of value rather than a one-sided relationship. Right.
Yeah. And it's much more, I mean, you're truly helping your partners grow and get where they want to be, right? Like you're really a partner. Um, and I think one of the issues, the reason that I say the numbers go down is a lot of lenders don't like the fact that they're treated as commodity, but yet all their coaching companies are telling them to treat realtors like commodities,
Right.
go real wide. And if, of course, if you treat them like commodities, they're going to treat you like commodities.
Right.
Um, and so, like this is where you're finding people that you really enjoy. And, there's something to be said. The harder you are to work with, the more people want to work with you,
Right. Right. Yeah, that makes
especially
sense.
if you're visible.
Right. Right. Yeah, that makes sense. Okay, cool. And so so I think from that we've uncovered pretty clear directives where it's like depending on where you are, what level you are, we have clear directives of like, okay, so this is where you should be focusing, right? This is what you work on to get to the next level, and how things fit, and what the workload looks like. And so uh present to me in as succinct a way where like if you were, and that may not be the right way to ask you this, but I'm at level 0. Why or do I need to show up to the webinar about how to have easy conversations with realtors?
You don't. Yeah. Uh, you need to go talk to someone else that's going to help you like get direction and grind.
Okay,
Like you just need to grind for a while. Um,
perfect.
um,
And learn the business, right?
yeah.
Perfect. Okay, I'm at level 1. Why do I need uh the workshop or webinar on how to have these easy conversations with realtors?
Mm, I'm thinking. I mean, if you want to build your business, with a strong foundation, and you want to implement, a business model that and systems that as you grow, it doesn't destroy your life. Um, if you want a predictable purchase business, you got to work with realtors, and you're either going to chase or you're going to have a system that um, lets you pick who you work with. And so if that's what you want, like if you're looking to grow your business, why build it on a foundation that's going to cause you to burn out?
Right.
Um, why don't you build it on a foundation that actually gets you the life that you want? If you want freedom and to be uh, trusted and respected, and you want to be able to have have freedom, build your business on this.
Perfect. So it's really, it's like getting to the levels that you want to, getting to the outcomes that you want to, but in a way that actually feels good while you're doing it, feels sustainable. Um, it's not the only thing that works, but it works reliably, it works quicker, it works in a way that's less stressful and less of a tax on your mental and physical health. Right? So like
Yeah,
you get where you want to go with much less of the downsides, right? That's kind of the idea.
yeah, yeah. I mean, a lot of the other times, I mean, the people that are grind, 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 um, they become coaches or managers because like you can't keep that pace up.
Right.
So this is something that you can actually keep up for a long time.
That makes sense. I'm at level 2, so I've got 1 to 2 partners. I'm still working a decent amount. I know the business. I know what I'm doing. I've maybe started to be able to have a little bit of a gut instinct about who to talk to. Why do I want to be on the workshop about having easy conversations with realtors?
You never want to hit zeros again. You want to get some more of your time back. You want to be able to um, deepen relationships, build more of a moat around your relationships. Um, like how valuable it is to work with partners. You want more easier. Um, you're tired of realtors saying, "Hey, will you pay for my leads?" or "Send me a deal first." Um, you want more consistency, um, and you kind of want an easier way to do it, right?
Right. That makes sense. I'm level 3. I've got 5 to 10 partnerships. I'm doing a good amount of deals. I've got a lot of systems. Why do I want to be on the webinar, or do I?
Um, you want to be able to take Fridays off if you want, to not have to work weekends. Um, you want to have a system to double your best realtor partners. You want to be able to have a way to maintain those relationships during the next refi boom. You want to really be able to lead with a giving hand. Um, and you really want a legacy, like you want to grow because you want to grow without, you're not willing to sacrifice your health and your marriage and being a parent. Um, you're not going to cold call. You're sick of all the other leads. Like um, you want to grow and feel good about yourself.
Makes sense. Makes sense. If I'm level 4, do I want to be on this webinar?
Join other people that are with you. It's probably lonely out there. There's, it feels like everyone out there just says grind, grind, grind. If you make 100 calls, you need to make 200. That's how you grow. If you've done, if you're level 4 where you're at now, like come join us and you'll probably learn 1 or 2 things that'll make your life even better. And you'll meet a community of people that are with you.
Perfect. And if I'm level 4 and I'm on the webinar, what will this bonus help me do?
I mean, if you're level 4, you're always looking to grow, right? Like you grow because you want to grow, not because you have to. Um, it'll show where you can improve without sacrificing the things that are important to you.
And maybe I might be at level 4, I might be at level, like maybe I'm level like 3.9, right? And the bonus might give me a few extra ideas that are like, all right, that would really unlock it and make it even better, right?
Yeah.
So it gives me clarity of where to go. Okay, so all of that's really important for a couple of things. For one thing, I don't know what you think, but I think we just gave a more clear, tangible outcome to this scorecard in terms of what it helps people do, and it gives them an assessment of where they are, where they could be, and the high level activities that will get them there, right? So it helps it be a bit of a prescription as well for them, which is helpful. So all of that should be useful to you in terms of how you leverage the scorecard itself, just based on what you already know. The thing that it helps me to do is to know how it fits together with this workshop, of being able to say, okay, you're gonna absolutely love this scorecard, because what the scorecard's going to do is everything that we're about to teach you right now. It's going to tell you where and how to deploy it in terms of getting the next step, like where it makes sense, where it's going to make a difference, or really where you need to go. This process is going to fit in, but what you're focusing on, this may only be a part of it. This may just be a component of it. So if you really want the full view of how to get where you want to go in your business, both with these conversations being part of it, but also the bigger picture, that's why you're going to want to get this bonus. And it, does that make sense?
Yeah.
All right, perfect. That understanding of the bonus and how it helps them, very specifically, thinking out loud here on this. So part of why we needed to do that, this bonus isn't as directly in alignment with the webinar as others can be, right? Like as a, for instance, other things that could be a bonus for this webinar would be like honestly, your 6 questions script, that could be a good bonus for a webinar if we weren't going to dive into the 6 questions themselves, right? So we're going to say, hey, here's how you reach out, here's how you get the conversation, but now you're going to need to know what to actually say in that interview. That's where you're going to want this bonus that teaches you exactly how to do it, right? That's actually probably a separate bonus, a separate concept that might be that might even be what would make sense. So walking through this is a good, powerful, useful tool that's really good and prescriptive. It should definitely be part of the process. Just thinking through, for sake of the workshop itself, depends on how we deploy it, but yeah.
I feel like the bonuses should be some other kind of checklist thing. I almost feel like this is a secondary thing.
Yeah, and like I think what
Like
we
it can
just
be a
did,
bonus webinar on it,
yeah,
but
yeah, yeah. I'm thinking through that. I think for sake of the bonus for the webinar on the conversations, like how to get so the webinar is how to get easy conversations, right?
yeah,
So the bonus should be, well, now you need to have those conversations,
right,
right? This bonus is going to teach you exactly what to say. Like,
right.
I think that's a really good logical next step. Does that make sense?
Yeah,
The other thing that it could be is
yeah.
it could be like a collection of outreach scripts or something like that. But we already have documented the 6-question framework. So like I think we could build
It
the
could be a
webinar.
checklist, that you put your top 40 realtors in,
Right.
you know, that kind of like stuff to implement the system, right?
Yeah, exactly. Exactly. Yeah. And I mean, again, looking at this as like, we're probably going to do this as a paid thing anyway. Uh,
Yeah,
so this is just interesting to explore. Doing this as a like a free webinar or like a lower ticket, lower ticket that like there's still room for them to do more. The bonus is really there to get them to want to stick around for the whole thing, right? Like that's the purpose of the bonus.
right,
It's an open loop that we're using to get them to stick around through the offer. If we do this as a paid webinar, then really the bonus is more in the vein of like kind of how a bonus is in an offer, where it's like this is something that helps you get that end result, right? This is a tool, a
right.
resource, that sort of idea. And so in that vein, yeah, the top 40 tracker, the question script, right? Like just any of those tools or resources become part of, as a bonus, you're going to get this. Here's how it's going to help you, right? Like that sort of idea. Yeah. So thinking through this with you specifically, I mean, I feel like that's probably the route that we'd end up going, right? Like we'd probably end up going more the do it as a yeah. What do you envision? What's your gut feel on this? Do you feel like do you feel like do you feel like uh doing it as a like a more of what
Paid.
we more of what we think of as a mid-ticket offer, where it's like we're just going to deliver on this, or do you think about like, or are you thinking more in the zone of like let's price it low enough that even though it's not like a super full exhaustive course, like people will still feel like it's valuable compared to what they paid for it, and we like we still use the more typical webinar structure. Does that make sense?
Right.
So I don't know where are you leaning on it? What do you think?
I don't know. What's my gut say? Um, I mean, the more that I can teach and give them the step by step and like really, really help them, the better, right?
Right. Right.
Um, and so I guess I would just want to be as helpful as possible.
Right. So yeah. So thinking through this out loud, the benefit of like the 1 hour style thing is that that's something that you could more so evergreen to have part of like your follow-up sequences and stuff, right? Where it's like
Right.
it's an event that somebody could come to, could be like it's sort of the impulse aisle purchase kind of thing, both in terms of time and money, right?
Right.
Whereas if you're like, hey, I know this thing's like a 4-hour workshop, That's
Yeah.
less of an impulse aisle time commitment, at least.
I saw um uh oh, I can't think of his name right now, but the Precision Matt, he actually did an hour webinar, but just made it mid-ticket. It was $97,
Right.
but it was like a hour training. He had a couple bonuses. I can share that with you, kind of his replay. He had like some templates, workshop templates, scorecard template, and then book your free growth session. And so it was kind of a hybrid. It was like $100 for this training. It was good. It was Q&A and had those templates. So you could. I think there is a place, depending on who it is, where you can do that as well.
Yeah. We should think about where and how this adapts things, because it's. I mean, again, part of what we're exploring together is a little bit of a different model than what I've been doing or developing out, because we have some specific different goals that we're looking to do. So
You're right.
that'll be something that we explore a bit further. Okay, so what we, and we should probably wrap it there. But what we accomplished and what we still need to do. So we really what we spent most of our time on is really thinking through your scorecard. I think where we ended up on that is that it's good and useful. I think we made it better. I think we also figured out that it's probably not the right bonus for this. And
Right.
we have other bonuses for this, or at least it's not like the key bonus for this as a webinar or workshop, right? Like it might be
Right.
something that's included as like a, hey, here's all the bonuses that you get. This is one of them.
Right.
Because it's still something you want people to go through. It does help you and it does help them, but it may not be
Yeah.
like this thing that's like lights them up unless it's presented in context.
Right.
So, but I think we also have already in the core teaching, we got pretty well documented, like, what are the things that you would define as the bonuses? Anything that's like scripting, checklists, that sort of thing. If you do it 1 hour style, if you do it longer workshop wise, either way, I think that makes sense. I don't know. Do we have? I do want to check this real quick. Let's see.
Oh, yes.
Let's just see where it is on this. One second. I'm going to share my screen. And let's do a new chat. It is fine. I want you to focus on the offer documentation. Please provide templates. Okay. Here's the process. Here's the transcript. And this core offer. What I'm trying to discern is, did we clearly define the offer that's going to be made on the webinar well enough? What is it doing? No. There we go. All right, perfect. Yeah, we do have the offer pretty well documented there. Let me get that in there. All right. Okay, cool. So yeah, so we have the core teaching, we have the offer, we have the bonus part discussed. We potentially need to extract out some more bonus opportunities based on the conversation that we just had. There's probably portions of the core teaching. I think the next steps are really like thinking it might be that we might need to review the webinar that you just put in front of me as well, this precision workshop one, and see how to relate that to what we're doing. There might be a few adjustments when we're like, hey, we want to do this as a paid thing, because I think it potentially massages a few things about the process. If they've already paid for it, we may have less need to get them to stick around for the bonus and that sort of idea. I don't know. I want to see. But otherwise, I think we have the core teaching really well documented. It might be something where we break out a few different parts of it, right? Because like we did the how to get the conversations, we might do a separate webinar that's like, how to actually have those conversations.
Yeah.
Or that might be a bonus, that sort of idea. But yeah, okay, cool. I think we have everything established that we need. Next steps to me would be developing out the slides themselves, or at least the content of the slides. Content of the slides, making sure that feels like it's in alignment, double checking and refining those, and then going from there. Then after that, it's landing page, promotion sequence, and all of that for sake of setting it up and getting it implemented. There you go.
Nice. Cassie's saying one of the kids in jujitsu. Just
fun.
one.
Just one.
Just one. Yeah.
Good call. Well, there we go. Yeah, I think we moved forward pretty well on that.
I'm excited. Yeah, that's pretty good.
Love it. Yeah.
Very thorough.
Indeed. All right. Well, cool. So on the next one, we know what we're doing.
Perfect. All right. Well, we'll see y'all soon.
See you on the next one.